You probably heard that there are some significant changes underway in the real estate industry. Earlier this year, a massive lawsuit was settled between the National Association of Realtors and some large brokerages on one side, and on the other side, a group of sellers. This lawsuit primarily revolved around the compensation of buyer's agents. In this video, I would go into what these changes mean for you as a buyer when working with real estate professional. I'll also talk about if it's still worth having a real estate professional on your side when you are buying a home. But it's important to note that while the changes technically only affect members of the NAR, most other real estate professionals, you're only a realtor if you're a member of the NAR, most other real estate professionals will probably follow these rules. And it's also noteworthy that the majority of real estate professionals are actually NAR members and would automatically be bound by these changes. So it's pretty likely that you're going to work with a realtor and you will have to work under these rules if you want to have a buyer's agent representing you. My name is Bent Danholm, and I'm a real estate broker and a marketing expert with Maxim Realty Orlando. If you're in the process of buying a home today or thinking about purchasing a home shortly, you will definitely want to watch this video. Let's start by discussing the changes that are on the horizon. Since the 1990s, I think it was in 1994, it has been customary in the US for sellers to pay their broker commission, which then was split between the buyer's agent and the listing agent. This system allowed buyers to have representation without having to pay for it out of pocket. That system actually came out of another lawsuit. With the new changes coming into effect in August of this year, and if you're watching this in the future, I'm talking about August of 2024, it will now be the buyer's own responsibility to negotiate the commission they are paying their agent directly with their agent. Sellers may still offer compensation to buyer's agents, so you may not end up having to pay for your agent directly, but the responsibility of negotiating how much your buyer's agent, is paid lies with you and no longer with the seller's agent. So how does this all work? Well, in the future, you would have to sign an agreement. Previously, only about 59% of all buyers signed an agreement with a buyer's agent because it really wasn't necessary in most people's eyes. Now you will have to sign an agreement. Your buyer's broker cannot work with you if you don't sign an agreement before you even go to look at homes. This agreement that you'll be signing, among other things, will outline the commission you will be paying your agent. It can be defined as a flat fee, as a percentage, or as a combination of the two, but it must be 100% clear what you're paying your agent. Without this agreement, your agent cannot be paid at all, even if the seller is offering a commission to a buyer's agent. So that will mean that your agent really has no interest in working with you if you don't sign this, because you can't even decide to pay them at a later date. If you do not have a signed agreement before you go out looking at homes, your agent is now not under these new NAR rules, not allowed to be paid. This is not a change in the law, by the way. This is a change in the real estate industry, but it still is as binding to all the agents as if it was a law. It's also important to know that your agent cannot be paid more than they have agreed with you. Let's suppose that you have agreed to pay your buyer's agent a 3% commission of the purchase price of the home you're buying. And you find a home where the seller is offering a 4% commission, which is not unlikely if they want to sell their home fast. In this case, you will not have to pay the fee directly. It will be 100% covered by the seller because your agent cannot receive more than what you have agreed. So if the seller is paying 3%, you wouldn't have to pay anything. And your agent will not be able to receive more than the 3%, no matter what the seller is offering. However, if we turn this a little bit on the other side, you have still agreed to pay a 3% commission to your agent. But in this case, you find a home where the seller is offering a 2% commission to your buyer's agent. You will then have to pay the difference at closing because the agreement has been outlined before that this is what you'll be paying your buyer's agent. As you can see, this is a huge difference from the time when most agents working with buyers worked on the premises. Well, we will get paid whatever the seller is paying us. The good news here is that the seller is still allowed to offer compensation, and probably will in most cases. And buyers are still allowed to negotiate seller concessions. Means that if you look at a home where it turns out the seller is offering little or no compensation for your agent, you can negotiate a compensation that would cover your cost. So this is because you as a buyer can still make an offer contingent on the seller giving you certain concessions. And like I said, those concessions could potentially cover all your buyer's agent's fees. But with all these changes, you might be wondering if it's even worth having an agent representing you when you're buying a home. Well, in the past, 89% of home buyers have chosen to work with a real estate agent or broker. And that's because they had some pretty compelling reasons to do so. There's some of the things they mentioned is the expertise they're getting, the access to property exclusives. I'll get back into that a little bit later. Negotiation skills, risk reduction, and also emotional support. It can be pretty stressful to buy a home, so sometimes one of the agent's job is to offer emotional support. And these are all things that your agent can provide that could be invaluable to you when you're buying a home, especially in the light of these recent changes. The number one reason that most buyers have chosen why they like to have a real estate professional on their side when they're buying a home is the agent's market expertise. Because when you're buying a home, you're not just purchasing a property, you're investing in a neighborhood, in a community, and a lifestyle. That's a lot to consider, and it can be pretty overwhelming to navigate all that on your own. A licensed professional can help you navigate this, and a good agent can provide valuable insights that you won't get from just browsing online listings. They can tell you which neighborhoods are up and coming, where you might find the best value, and what you can expect in terms of future developments. Having this insider knowledge can make a huge difference in your home searching and your home buying experience. It can definitely help you make an informed decision, and it can ensure that you get the best possible deal on your new home. Plus, your agent can guide you through understanding what a fair price for a property is based on current local market conditions. Another reason stated for people why they're using a real estate professional is that that real estate professionals can access property exclusives. So one of the significant advantages that we as real estate professionals have is that we have access to properties you will not find online. Of course, sites like Zillow and Realtor.com, Trulia, and all these sites, they're great for getting a general sense of what is out there, but they only sometimes give you the full picture. A good real estate professional can access listings that are not on the internet. For example, developers' listings that you won't be able to find everywhere, or even homeowners that might be willing to sell if the right offer come along. Sometimes a real estate professional can even find these homeowners for you, even if they haven't raised their hand yet. This means that we can bring you opportunities that you would not be able to find on your own. And that would give you a broader selection of homes to choose from. And sometimes you will be looking at homes where you have no competition from other buyers. And that's, as they say in the commercials, priceless. So imagine being able to see a property before it even hits the market, or before the seller almost doesn't even know that he wants to sell your home, or finding that hidden gem that fits all your criteria but isn't advertised anywhere, and where you can negotiate a much better price than if we had 10 other buyers fighting over that home. That's the edge you get when you're working with an experienced agent. And the good news here is that it's often easier to get the seller to cover all your agent's fees in these instances, because they know no other buyers will come to look at the house. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, you can follow me here on Facebook for up-to-date and relevant real estate info. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about negotiation skills. Buying a home is probably the most significant purchase you'll ever make. So you want to ensure that you get the best possible deal. This is where the negotiation skills of someone who does this for a living comes into play. And negotiating is an art and a science that requires a lot of practice to master. And just because you're good at negotiating in some areas doesn't necessarily mean that you are good at negotiating in others. I, for instance, would not want to negotiate a yacht purchase, but I do know how to negotiate a real estate purchase. So knowing how to navigate that delicate balance of getting you the best terms is important, and to navigate it without scaring off the seller. And it's not just about the price. There are other factors to consider in real estate. There's the closing cost and repair request and contingencies and all sorts of things that you might not think about if you're not doing this on a daily basis. A good agent can help you understand all these elements and negotiate on your behalf to ensure that you get the best possible overall package. This can not only save you thousands of dollars and a lot of stress, but probably also put you in the right house for you. Another crucial aspect that we've talked to buyers about and why they want to work with a real estate agent is risk reduction. Buying a home is a really complex process with hundreds of variables going into the process. There are many potential pitfalls in that. It's easy as a buyer to make a costly mistake that can affect your timeline and your budget and probably your overall happiness and leave you with a severe case of buyer's remorse. A professional can help you avoid these pitfalls. We can guide you through each and every step of the process from initial search to the final closing. We will help you understand what to look for in a property, what red flags to watch out for, and how to navigate the often really confusing world of real estate transactions. For example, there are certain contingencies that you might want to include in your offer to protect yourself. There are certain contingencies you can use to negotiate other contingencies. Maybe say, oh, if I take this out, I can put something else in, and we can help you determine which ones might not be as important in the specific case. These could always relate to the home inspection, the financing, and the appraisal, and lots of other things. A good agent will be able to explain what these are and why they're important, and ensuring that you're not left with a nasty surprise after you're already committed to the purchase. Last but not least, let's talk about emotional support. Buying a home is not just a financial transaction. It is actually a truly emotional journey. I cannot remember how many times, it is a ton of times I've talked to buyers who told me we cannot imagine how stressful, how exciting, how emotional, and how overwhelming and how joyous this all is at the very same time. Having someone professional on your side who understands this roller coaster and can offer you objective, data-driven advice is invaluable. We can help you keep your 2 feet on the ground while still enjoying the process. We can help you stay grounded and focused on your goals, in other words. We can listen to your concerns, we can answer your questions, and we can provide the reassurance you need when you're sort of on the verge of a collapse. This job that we have is to make this the process of buying a home as smooth, enjoyable, profitable as possible for you, so you can look back on it with fun memories rather than stress and anxiety, and maybe also with a certain degree of buyer's remorse. That's something we really want to try to avoid, that dreaded buyer's remorse that means that you're feeling that you've made the wrong choice. So why do 89% of home buyers enlist the help of a licensed real estate agent or broker? It's because they understand the value of having a professional advocate on their side. From the market expertise and property exclusives to negotiation skills to risk reduction and to emotional support. There are so many benefits to working with an experienced agent. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, and it's not something you want to do alone. With the help of a professional, you can navigate the complexities of the market, you can find the perfect home, and you can secure the best deal, not just money-wise, but in all other aspects of the deal, all while avoiding costly mistakes and hopefully unnecessary stress. So if you're considering buying a home and want to learn more about how I can help, contact me for a free and absolutely no obligation or a consultation. I'm here to answer your questions, provide guidance, and help you realize your dream of homeownership, whether it's your first or your 50th home you're buying. Thank you so much for watching.